Anthony Albanese is meeting with the British PM Rishi Sunak in San Diego today ahead of tomorrow's major AUKUS announcement. Joining us now is the Dean of Global Futures and political analyst at Curtin University. He's our own foreign affairs expert, Joe Siracusa. Joe, good to see you. So what do you make of the deal so far, the AUKUS deal? It's going to be, well, hopefully 20,000 direct jobs at a cost of $200 billion, which might be cheap in the end.
Good morning, Pete. Well, look, this AUKUS deal promises a great deal. It's going to take years and years to deliver on. You have to produce a generation of young men and women in Australia who want to become submariners. It's going to take a long time to develop the industrial base here. But at the end of the day, you ask yourself, does this buy a little bit of peace of mind? I mean, is this make Australia a safer, a more dangerous place? I don't think the PLA. Navy or military is too much worried about this. They assume that these submarines will have nuclear missiles on them, either Harpoons or Tomahawk cruise missiles. I mean, Australians can jump up and down about these aren't nuclear tipped missiles. Well, the Chinese are going to count them as nuclear tipped because they're certainly not going to wait for the mushroom cloud. So, at the end of the day, do you buy yourself a little more security? I'm not so sure, but I think you buy yourself a little more time. I think it's important for Australia to let the Chinese know that they're in this to the end. They're on American. They're going to be in American-made boats in the first instance, then British-made boats. My problem here is, and we tried this during the Kennedy years. We talked about mixed crews on these vessels. And, you had Italians and French were going to decide, when to start World War III by themselves. And it didn't work because at the end of the day, there's going to be an American decision to go forward or not. And I doubt there'll be an Australian in the room when that takes place. So this cut requires a great deal of faith on the part of the Albanese government that this will be handled correctly at the other end. It's going to take many, many years. It's going to take tens of thousands of young people to be skilled up on this kind of thing. Pete, I'm trying to think about how hard it is to get a plumber on a Sunday. You got to keep these boats in the water. And look, you got 65 launch tubes on these things. You need a crew of 132. They have a life of 13 to 15 deployments. This thing's going to cost a lot of money forever. I mean, in the short term, I think Australia can feel pretty good about itself. On the long term, I think it's going to have Australia has to worry about who's in charge of the boat and who decides when and if to launch. But, maybe the Chinese, I predict that the Chinese leadership will probably collapse in 3 years because they're trying to juggle too many balls at once. Is this a good idea? Well, everybody who signed up for it will be dead when they get going. By the 30 years, that's the problem.
We were just talking about this. Yeah, there's a lot of people probably not even born yet who may end up being part of this program. It's an interesting point you made there about, if Americans are on an Australian boat and the decision is to go forward, who's going to disagree on that boat? This is all part of the minutiae that's going to be worked out down the track. Just on China, given that they've already got about 6 nuclear subs already, do you think that they hit the fast forward button here on any potential plan that they might have?
No, they don't. I have heard Chinese officials say that Australia is now in the nuclear zone because Australia was considered nuclear free. They weren't going to target it. And I think they're not going to cause the Chinese to lose any sleep. Australia becomes a nuclear target, more of a nuclear target. But, if you're a friend and ally of Britain and the United States, you're always a nuclear target. I wouldn't worry about that. I mean, I grew up at Ground Zero in Chicago. I made it. So, you get used to that kind of thing. But I don't think this worries the Chinese too much. I don't think they're on fast forward. And keep in mind that these boats are designed as the last resort. That is, these nuclear subs are designed to deliver the doomsday bomb in the event a war is lost. So, Australia's kind of betting all its chips on how the game ends. I would love to have seen Australian nuclear boats with nuclear missiles on them. I'd like to have seen more F-35s with delivery systems. I just don't know if a great big expensive boat like this, which unit sells right now for $3.6 billion in Virginia, I don't know if it works.
Well, I hope it does. We all should hope it does. It's big, it's ambitious, it's bold, and I think it's good. I hope we can just pull it off. Thanks, Joe.
That's right.
We'll chat to you
Okay,
soon.
take
Yeah.
care.